We come out of that story to take you to the northwest, where our reporter Pule Letshwiti is speaking to ANC National Chairperson Gwede Mantashe. Pule, over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Annalie, and I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm just going to be talking to the National Chairperson of the ANC, Mr. Gwede Mantashe. Mr. Mantashe, thank you very much for joining us on eNCA. Now, you've said a mouthful of things to the ANC supporters who have come in their numbers today. You're embarking on door-to-door campaigning. But furthermore, one would wonder if these are the same promises that have been made again, as some of the residents are saying for years the ANC has not come to actually live up to the expectations.
I don't know what the expectations are. The ANC doesn't make promises. It makes commitments. If the ANC said we're going to build houses, it built houses. It may not have really, but houses will be built. So as long as that program continues, we come back and recommit ourselves to continue building those houses. If there is unemployment as we have that now, we'll have to go back and say we have a responsibility to create an environment for companies to create jobs, employment. That is not a promise, it's an ongoing challenge that must be addressed by the African National Congress.
Fair enough, Mr. Mantashe. Now, just in relation to that, we witnessed something very, unexpectable in Soweto, where, community members were booing the president. Particularly, this is the ANC's #1, who was favored to actually bring the party into light and led it to the victory in 2019. Is this something the ANC thinks they should look back to the drawing board and fix? I mean, if people are booing the president, clearly it means that there's something wrong within the party.
I was here, I was not booed. I can't know what is happening in Soweto. I'm continuing to work here tomorrow, and I have not been booed up to now. But being booed in political program is part of life. But it depends on how you react to it. Do you go underground when you are booed, or do you try to address the issues that are raised? And that is what we are faced with. We must raise and we must answer those questions and deal with issues that are raised. Booing is an act. The reality is the questions that are raised.
All right. Is it a bad thing for the president to be booed, Mr. Mantashe?
It's not an enjoyable thing to be booed. It doesn't matter who you are. But it's part of the tradition of politics. In politics, you get booed. In politics, you get taken on shoulders. You get all sorts of experiences. But you must engage with that reality, because that is the occupational hazard of being a political person.
Just before you go, let's talk about the readiness for the ANC. Candidate lists have been a problem internally in the party, and this also comes in wake of the party itself wanting for the court case to go in their favor in terms of opening and amending its list as well. Is the ANC confident about this going in their favor, and has this also been a burden to the party? We've heard residents complaining about how some ward councillors were fielded incorrectly.
The court case didn't go in favor of the ANC. It went in favor of the IEC. That is not the ANC. And the ANC is one of the parties that are having under the jurisdiction of the IEC. We were there, and the ruling was given by the court, and we're complying with it.
Young people are coming out in their numbers to vote. Are you confident that this might also be a constituency that you will be capitalizing on?
Actually, the fact that we are reviving the ANC Youth League is beginning to pay some dividends for us. And it sends us a strong message that to have the ANC Youth League is not a luxury, it's a necessity for the party.
And are you confident ahead of local government elections that you will get some numbers coming your way?
Every election we work hard to win. We are going to continue working hard to win the elections. And that is what we're expecting, because we're hard. Because winning the election reflects the energy you put in it. And we're putting it here.
Maybe just the last question, Mr. Mantashe. There seems to be, cracks on the wall in the party, and you address the issue of factions, mentioning particularly RET, CR17, NDZ. Has this also been some sort of, problem in the party as well? I mean, we're seeing what happened with the SG of the party being suspended. We're seeing what the MKMVA, which is disbanded, is by taking you guys to court as well. Are these just the repercussions of the internal fightings that are going on in the organization?
You see, I always get surprised when journalists in South Africa are shocked to see factions. Factions are as old as politics. You go to church, you'll find factions. You go to school clubs, you'll find factions. The difference is how you handle them and how you deal them. If they overpower the party, then there's a problem. But if the party is strong enough to manage the problems, then it's politics, it's natural, but we're discouraging factions. People must invest their energy and time on the work of the African National Congress. But to get shocked and throw your hands in the air because they're factions, really, I don't understand that. It's as old as politics. All the parties in South Africa here have factions, you know that. As a journalist, you should know that. You can go to any party because it is a character of politics as a discipline. In that discipline, we know that, but the party must be strong enough to keep itself together.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mantashe.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, there we go, Mr. Mantashe joining us here saying, factions are just the nature of it. Time around, they will be getting numbers. I mean, some of the residents are concerned that some of these promises have been made here and nothing has been done, particularly to the issue of a service delivery. One mentioned that it's been about 20 years since ANC, there is actually this area here in Sanford. But as it is right now, we have to see what will happen in terms of the local government elections. There's quite a lot that the ANC has to do, Annalie, to get its house in order. And we've witnessed quite...
Pule Letshwiti coming to us from the northwest there. We have unfortunately lost sound from that team. Lots of updates from across Mzansi on voter registration and campaigning as we head into local government elections in 6 weeks' time.